Hey, YouTube, VidHead85 here. I don't want to go. I feel like Donald Trump when he lost in 2020. I don't want to go, but I'm gonna have to go because I'm a man. Okay, yeah, whatever. I'm appealing to machismo as a joke because I don't want to do this. She's overly attached girlfriend, overly attached senator, and I don't like her. I mean, her like state came like 2 seconds away from electing Roy Moore, who is pretty much a Christian dominionist, and he's practically, he's definitely a perv because a lot of those people are, a lot of people so huge like him are definitely, they got some skeletons in the closet. And then Doug Jones got in there, and we had a Democratic vote until dumbass Tuberville decided, hey, I could be a coach. A R's next to my name. So, as long as I get through the primary, I'm pretty much a shoo-in, and here it is. You know what, I'm just dunking on Alabama. Let me just get through this. Let us all get through this. You will suffer the pain. It's like, this is probably going to be like a mega leg of The Amazing Race for me. Except I'm sitting here. Let's go. Rip and run. There's my clue. Route info. Katie Britt. State of the Union rebuttal.
Good evening, America. My name is Katie Britt, and I have the honor of serving the people of the great state of Alabama in the United States Senate. However, that's not the job that matters most. I am a proud wife and...
Oh gosh, she's gonna do the wife and mother thing. I really hate when women do that. Like, who's Katie Britt? Like, if she didn't have a husband and her kids are empty nesters, who would she be? I mean, Senator in Alabama, of course, but who would Katie be herself? Not the senator, not the mother, not the wife. That's a good question to ask yourself, especially if you find yourself really overcommitting on the wife and mother. Okay, keep going.
And mom of 2 school-aged kids. My daughter Bennett and my son Ridgway are why I ran for the Senate.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You wanted to get rich while you were in office. Because little Ridgway, he could be, you probably want him to go to Harvard. And I think a lot of people want their folks to go to Harvard because the prestige of degree from Harvard would get them.
I'm worried about their future and the future of children in every corner of our nation.
Unless they're in the classroom getting shot up like Swiss cheese.
And that's why I invited you into our home tonight. Like so many families across America, my husband Wesley and I just watched President Biden's State of the Union address from our living room. And what we saw was the performance of a permanent politician.
This you? That you? Where's my finger? Okay.
Who has actually been in office for longer than I've been alive.
Yes, and that is an indictment against the system. Are you going to vote for term limits?
One thing was quite clear, though. President Biden just doesn't get it. He's out of touch.
Borshead has crafted an ode to legend.
Under his administration, families are worse off. Our communities are less safe.
Wages have risen, inflation has come down. And then crime is, your junior senator, or at least I don't know who was there first, but for every 1 murder in New York, you get murder. For every 3 murders in New York, you are 3 times more likely in Alabama to be murdered than in New York. I don't think you get to talk about who's safe or who's not. Oh, community note from Tommy Tuberville. Why don't we take a look at that beautiful thing right here, wherever it appears on the screen.
And our country is less secure.
How come that only happens under Democrats?
just wish he understood what real families are facing around kitchen tables just like this one. You know, this is where our family has tough conversations. It's where we make hard decisions. It's where we share the good, the bad, and the ugly of our days. It's where we laugh together, and it's where we hold each other's hands and pray for God's guidance. And many nights, to be honest, it's where Wesley and I worry.
Yeah, we see that. And also, like, it's always, I love how it's always a crisis when Democrats are in charge, especially when it comes to immigration. When Biden and Obama have deported more people than their predecessors did.
I know we're not alone. And so tonight, the American family needs to have a tough conversation. Because the truth is, we're all worried about the future of our nation.
She's not worried enough to actually raise the minimum wage. She's not worried enough to actually put forth universal health care. She's not worried enough to make colleges and tuition free. She's not worried enough to actually address the systemic issues like the justice system, whose participants are more worried about stepping to the next office. She's not worried enough to actually enact term limits. She's not worried enough to enact bans on lobbyists. She's not worried enough to actually put minimum wage with inflation. She's not really worried. Again, she's a performer.
The country we know and love seems to be slipping away, and it feels
because it's becoming more brown.
Like the next generation will have fewer opportunities and less freedoms than we did. I worry my own children may not even get a shot at living their American dreams.
Yes, because commodities are practically, because things that we need are commodified, and the reason for that is because you need to look in the mirror and slap the first person that shows up, because you're responsible for that.
My American dream allowed me.
You're one of the people responsible for that, I'll be fair.
The daughter of two small business owners from rural Enterprise, Alabama, to be elected to the United States Senate at the age of 40.
Look at that affirmative action.
Growing up, sweeping the floor at my dad's hardware store and
I don't
cleaning the
know, maybe it
bathroom of
wasn't.
my mom's dance studio. I
know she had help though. She had help getting where she got, because of course you don't get to the U.S. Senate without a step up somewhere.
Could have imagined what my story would entail. To think about what the American dream can do across just one generation, in just one lifetime. It's truly breathtaking.
It is, and social mobility is dwindling for the majority of Americans, and that really sucks.
But right now, the American dream has turned into a nightmare for so many families. The true, unvarnished state of our union begins and ends with this. Our families are hurting. Our country can do better.
Our country can do better. Will you put forth that universal child care, universal health care, put forth that tuition-free college, get on it, introduce it.
And you don't have to look any further than the crisis at our southern border to see it.
Here we go. Didn't they have an opportunity not that long ago to actually do something about the border, and then their orange God pretty much said, don't do it, and give Joe Biden a win? Just similarly, and I'm going to pick on Nancy Pelosi for a little bit, just like Nancy Pelosi did not want to give another round of checks out before the election because it would help Donald Trump. Unlike Katie Britt, I am willing to call my own party out on their bullshit.
President Biden inherited the most secure border of all time.
Bullshit that he lost jobs on his way out the door. Lies.
But minutes after taking office, he suspended all deportations. He halted construction of the border wall.
Yeah, because it was ineffective. Like abstinence-only sex education that your state loves so much.
And he announced a plan to give amnesty to millions. We know that President Biden didn't just create this border crisis.
He didn't. How could he have created it when from 2012 to 2020, actually 2016 to 2020. How did he create it? That was on your boy.
He invited it with 94 executive actions in his first 100 days.
Really? Doubtful.
When I took office, I took a different approach. I traveled to the Del Rio sector of Texas. That's where I spoke to a woman who
Did you see the razor wire? Was it in view?
shared her story with me. She had been sex trafficked by the cartels starting at the age of 12. She told me not just that she was raped every day, but how many times a day she was raped. The cartels put her on a mattress in a shoebox of a room, and they sent men through that door over and over again for hours and hours on end.
I do not minimize the trafficking. I do not minimize this horrible situation and what happened to her, but I hate the fact that Katie Britt is using this as if it's President Biden's fault that this occurred. She's full of shit here. I should have said Dren.
True comfort can't be faked.
Will this
Neither
spelling
can our
thing
strawberries.
just...
Fall in love with new Haagen-Dazs New York strawberry cheesecake.
Don't care.
That's Dazs.
Bye.
We wouldn't be okay with this happening in a third world country.
Yeah, you would. Because you don't give a flying fuck about it.
This is the United States of America, and it is past time, in my opinion, that we start acting like it.
Where's your bill? Where's your bill to introduce to make this a thing? Has she, since 2 months ago, put forth a bill to actually address the problem? My guess is no, but I bet she took that good infrastructure money, like Tommy Tuberville claimed credit for, even though he didn't vote for it.
President Biden's border policies are a disgrace. This crisis is despicable. And the truth is, it is almost entirely preventable.
Y'all could have passed the bill, but y'all didn't do it.
From fentanyl poisonings to horrific murders.
Oh gosh, she's gonna bring up Laken Riley, but Katie Porter did something where it was showing that seizures of fentanyl crossing the border were actually we were catching more of it, and they were saying, well, isn't it a good thing that they're seizing more fentanyl? Yes, it is. Oh, Frau Yachts.
There are empty chairs tonight at kitchen tables, just like this one.
Just like the staged table here, with the fruit in the back and the little plant over there in the sink, and what I assume is soap.
Because of President Biden's senseless border policies. Just think about Laken Riley. In my neighboring state of Georgia, this beautiful 22-year-old nursing student went out on a jog one morning, but she never got the opportunity to return home. She was brutally murdered by one of the millions of illegal border crossers President Biden chose to release into our homeland. Y'all...
Okay, so he has to physically stamp something to give them the ability to stay here. Also, I would like... She's probably going to say something like say her name. I'd also wish she would say Sandra Bland. I also wish that she would say Tamir Rice. I also wish she would say Breonna Taylor. I also wish that maybe she would say... I don't even... Philando Castile. I don't even... These are names that I've had in my mind for quite a while. And hoping that my name will never get added to it. And I remember about how All Lives Matter had to, were shamed into speaking about Zachary Hammond, who was shot and killed by police, a white male. Black Lives Matter had to shame them into actually speaking out about it, since all lives are supposed to matter. What happened to Laken Riley was horrible. And no family should ever go through that. But using this to say, hey, look over there, when they have not done the inward and consistent approach to actually protecting women, I feel is disgusting. They haven't done a damn thing to protect women in any way. In any way. They just probably want to give them a gun. Oh, crap.
As a mom,
I'll just keep it this way.
I can't quit thinking about...
As a mom. How about as a fucking human being? I'm sick and tired of women saying this. As a mom. I don't give a fuck that you're a mom. As a fucking human being. Are you... I don't have a daughter. But I would not want anyone to go through what Laken Riley's family went through. If she were killed by a white man, you wouldn't be mentioning this. You would not be with such vitriol because he was white and he would be a lone wolf. Cut the shit.
About this. I mean, this could have been my daughter. This could have been...
Could it have been? Yes. But does it have to affect it? So if it were a black woman that was killed by this undocumented person, you wouldn't care? I swear, Uncle Ruckus ain't black. Uncle Ruckus can be black, but he don't have to be.
Yours.
This is Auntie Ruckus here.
President Biden finally said her name.
I knew it. Conservatives co-opting what black people made popular for 3,000, Alex.
But he refused to take responsibility for his own actions.
How about yours with not passing that damn bill that would have given the president the ability to shut the border down?
Mr. President, enough is enough. Innocent Americans are dying, and you only have yourself to blame.
Yeah, what about, you know what? Trump did cap insulin at $35 a bottle. I'm thankful for that. But what can we do? What else can we do? Because there are a lot of people that are dying out here. What are you doing to make sure that they don't? As you only go as far as your donors will let you.
Fulfill your oath of office. Reverse your policies. End this crisis and stop the suffering.
Are you going to say that to Gaza and the Palestinians while the Israelis are... Are you going to say that to Bibi Netanyahu? Because I'd like that suffering to stop. I'd like an actual state solution. I'd actually like the end of suffering in Gaza so that aid can get through there and the IDF bombing them to stop. I want a permanent ceasefire. The crazy thing is when the Israeli government talks about getting rid of Hamas, the thing is, are they actually going to get themselves out of the way so that Gaza and Palestine could actually be free and have their own self-determination?
Sadly, we know that President Biden's failures don't stop there. His reckless spending dug our economy into a hole.
The 4 years of Donald Trump, and suddenly you give a damn about the deficit.
And sent the cost of living through the roof.
I highly doubt that I wonder how far the cost of living deals with the budget, because I feel like that's a conflation that is incorrect.
We have the worst inflation in 40 years and the highest credit card debt in our nation's history.
Who ran it up? Y'all did. You Republicans did. You run it up every single time y'all have a president in the office and y'all control the government. You ran it up with Bush. You ran it up with Trump. And then you became deficit hawks during Obama's 2 years or 2 terms.
Let that sink in. Hardworking families are struggling to make ends meet today.
Where's that minimum wage bill to tie into inflation?
And with soaring mortgage rates and sky-high childcare costs.
Where is your universal childcare bill so that women, especially women, won't have to worry about staying home and raising their kid or working so that they can raise their child?
They're also struggling to how to plan for tomorrow.
You won't come to the table and negotiate anything, so how the hell is anybody going to have a plan when you just get up from the table and say no?
The American people are scraping by, while President Biden proudly proclaims that Bidenomics is working.
Because it is. However, it's not working for... It's not... The sky-high economy isn't working for absolutely everyone. We need to admit that. So when we're like, yeah, jobs, inflation, all that, there have been a lot of great people talking about how good the economy is on like Fox and stunning the anchors. That's great. However, average people are not feeling the effects of it. That needs to change.
Goodness, y'all. Bless his heart. We know better. I'll never forget stopping at a gas station in Chilton County one evening. The gentleman working the counter told me that after retiring, he had to pick up a job in his 70s so that he didn't have to choose between going hungry or going without his medication.
Where's that bill? Where's that bill so that he won't have to make that choice? I'd like to see your name on it.
He said, I did everything right. I did everything I was told to do. I worked hard. I saved. I was responsible. He's not alone.
And how is that Biden's fault, by the way? I mean, let's face it. Biden has done some shady shit, especially with the banking industry and MBNA. He was literally called the senator from MBNA. I will admit that and the bankruptcy bill that Hillary Clinton voted for, even though when she was senator and she was first lady. Biden has fucked up a lot. I will admit that. But how about making sure that Social Security is solvent by lifting the cap on the $110,000 tax on it, so that it could be solvent forever? Why don't we start there? All you want to do is complain about the situation, but you're not going to put forth any bills.
I hear similar concerns from fellow parents, whether I am walking with my friends or whether I'm at my kids' games. But let's be honest, it's been a minute since Joe Biden pumped gas, ran a carpool, or even pushed a grocery cart.
I'd like to know when was the last time you got the carpool. Just genuine question, though, because, I mean, I'd like to know that. That would be cool. Maybe I should go on and ride along with you and, see what you really do.
Meanwhile, the rest of us see our dollar and we know it doesn't go as far.
Yes, of course not. We know this.
See it every day. And despite what he tells you, our communities are not safer.
Crime has actually gone down quite a bit, and the only reasons that you guys are saying that they're not is because there are a lot of undocumented immigrants flooding cities, and they're not white. So you want to say that that things are not safe because of that. Look at them brown people.
For years, the left has coddled criminals and defunded the police.
Y'all defunded the IRS and kept cutting them for a long time. Also, defunding the police, as far as I'm concerned, is they shouldn't be a militaristic force. I'm sick and tired of so much going into the police that at the expense of community centers and programs to help kids stay off the streets and into places that can help them, and us cutting programs that can help them do better in life, but yet when those programs are cut, these kids are actually hurt because now, what are they going to do? And coddling criminals, I want to know, when was y'all never met a death penalty that y'all didn't like? And how many innocent people have been executed because y'all wanted to just go ahead and just pull the switch right away? How many people have been exonerated after they have been executed?
All while letting repeat offenders walk free. The result is tragic, but foreseeable. From our small towns to America's most iconic city streets, life is getting more and more dangerous.
Are you still interested in a solar-powered generator? Because pay special attention, because I'm going to do something.
I wish I could.
And unfortunately, President Biden's weakness isn't just hurting families here at home. He is making us a punchline on the world stage. Look,
we were a punchline from 2016 or 2017 to 2021. And frankly, I am so glad that idiot is out of the White House. Hopefully never to return. We got to make sure that is very clear. We were, every time, you always call us a punchline when a Democrat's in the office. But you were probably secretly exasperated at what Donald Trump was doing. But you could never say it because you would never, ever speak against your orange king.
Where I'm from, your word is your bond.
So why do you support that guy? Why do you support the orange guy? Because he's obviously worthless.
But for 3 years, the president has demonstrated that America's word doesn't mean what it used to. From abandoning our allies in his disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan.
Yeah, that was set under Donald Trump, and it was finished under Joe Biden. Stop acting like it was It was funny because whoever that MAGA so-called dude was, MAGA comedian, the Bryson dude, as soon as Biden took office, he was like, "You're responsible for the 500,000 deaths of COVID, Mr. Biden." Don't even stop gaslighting us here. It was set up under Trump. He negotiated everything and all of that, and we were to negotiate from leave Afghanistan, and then the Taliban took over like nothing had ever happened, which I find crazy. The Afghans needed to be ready for their defense and not to fall to the Taliban.
To desperately pushing another dangerous deal with Iran.
The Iran deal was actually some of the best work that was done since the Iranian Revolution, which I also hate that progress had gone backwards there too. But in 2013, or under Secretary of State John Kerry, it was actually nuclear physicists themselves were saying that it was a great deal and a positive step forward. The only reason that you don't like it is because they speak the wrong language and worship the wrong God. So, according to you.
President Biden has failed. We've become a nation in retreat.
You know what? Maybe we shouldn't have even been there in the first place on some of those places. Are you also, you've never met a war you didn't like either? Same thing with McCain, even though he was a veteran, he never met a war he didn't like either. And Meghan McCain, don't come at me.
And the enemies of freedom, they see an opportunity.
Yeah, just like they saw one in 2016 when Donald Trump got elected and put Neil Gorsuch on there. They saw an opportunity, all right. The enemies of reproductive freedom got it and they took it. Then when RBG died, they're like, hot damn, finally.
Putin's brutal aggression in Europe has put our allies on the brink. Iran's terrorist proxies have slaughtered Israeli, Jews, and American citizens. They've targeted commercial shipping, and they've attacked our troops nearly 200 times since our...
Okay, so I would like to see some evidence of that or anything like that, because I do remember the Houthis in Yemen were attacking some ships in the Gulf. I forget what I can picture Yemen because I know like Oman is right there, and then there's this huge Gulf there, and then I think it's like the northern tip of Africa, and maybe there's Turkey over here or Greece or something. No, Greece is on the other side, I believe, or no, Greece would probably be if Yemen and Oman are here, Greece I believe would be to the right of that. No, maybe it would be to the left, actually, because the Mediterranean, I believe, is over to the left. And then you got North Africa down there. I just keep, every time they talk about Iran, I'm like, oh, God, why do you want to get us in another quagmire over there? We're like...
October, killing 3 U.S. soldiers and 2 Navy SEALs. Meanwhile, the Chinese Communist Party...
Oh, this is just a laundry list of the people they don't like. I really want to know about that attack that she's talking about and like what the truth is from fiction here, because she's not credible to me.
Is undercutting America's workers. China is buying up our farmland.
Google? Anyone?
Spying on our military installations and spreading propaganda through the likes of TikTok.
No, TikTok. You know what? There are things that I can probably criticize TikTok about. Yeah, they're a Chinese company, perhaps, or whatever. Yeah, they're getting information, whatever. They're banned on a lot of government stuff because, of course, you need to really be careful when you work for the government and you have different things like that. You really do have to be careful. And a lot of governments have banned TikTok on the government devices. But if you really want to talk about online privacy and data collection, Google's your people. You need to crack down on Google, sis.
You see, the CCP knows that if it conquers the minds of our next generation, it conquers America.
Okay, first of all, America is really, really difficult to invade, especially with an outside force, of course. You would need an inside force like any other country. It is easier to invade from the inside, just like any other thing. And then, of course, you would need strategic allies to make sure that the people that they want to take over get to freely cross across any border, just like Portugal and Spain during their 1937 Civil War. I kind of think that when they talk about this stuff, I really think that they think that everybody has their... what would China get? China would probably gain a whole lot from, quote, conquering the U.S. But they wouldn't be able to, I don't think they'd be able to hold the U.S. for very long. And also, there's no way, because I feel that, like, we're pretty much like the British Navy. We're all over the world. More fear-mongering bullshit.
And what does President Biden do? Well, he bans TikTok for government employees, but
Yes, because that's a sensible thing to do.
creates an account for his own campaign.
Yeah, because he wants to reach people that are on TikTok. You use the things there. You use what's there to help you in a campaign. That's how you do it. That's what any sensible person would do in a campaign like that.
Y'all, you can't make this stuff up. Look, we all recall when presidents faced national security threats with strength and resolve. That seems like ancient history. Right now, our commander-in-chief is not in command.
He is. And the thing is, I think that you look at strength as something that always has to be. Speak softly and carry a big stick. Teddy Roosevelt said that. You can do that. You can have peace through strength, but you can also have, like soft skills that can de-escalate things and de-escalate situations.
The free world deserves better than a dithering and diminished leader.
Yeah, well, I wish you would have said that about Donald Trump, because we definitely deserve him. We definitely deserve better than that.
America deserves leaders who recognize that secure borders, stable prices, safe streets.
Okay, stable prices, what kind? Corporate greed is the problem, not inflation per se. Corporate greed is the problem. And crime has been going down quite a bit in these last couple of years. It definitely tanked with COVID, of course. Oh, let's get through these 5 minutes.
And a strong defense are actually the cornerstones of a great nation.
Us spending a lot on war is the problem, and the Roman Empire fell because they overspent on war, and they yielded to the pressure of their own weight. You can't hold on to massive territory for very long. Even the British Empire, probably one of the best to do it, had to fall. They still have a Commonwealth, of course, and neo-colonialism, but it's not always going to be that way.
Just ask yourself.
Online shopping can be so impersonal. Yet there's one thing you
Are you better off now than you were 3 years ago?
I am. I definitely am.
There's no doubt we're at a crossroads, and it doesn't have to be this way.
It doesn't. And that's why I wanted Bernie Sanders as president of the United States.
We all feel it. But here's the good news. We, the people, are still in the driver's seat. We get to decide whether...
Bullshit. Corporations are in the driver's seat. You just want to give us the wheel for a couple of minutes and then bounce us out.
Our future will grow brighter, or whether we'll settle for an America in decline.
Empires decline. Nobody special. The Ottomans, the Habsburgs, the Roman, every empire falls. You're not special.
Well, I know which choice our children deserve. And I know the choice the Republican Party is fighting for.
They're not fighting for a whole lot. They're just the party of no.
We are the party of hard-working parents.
Okay. Faux populism.
And families. And we want to give you and your children the opportunities to thrive.
unless they're gay, unless they're gay parents, unless it's black parents that want to vote, unless it's anybody who's not white Anglo-Saxon Protestant Christian.
And we want families to grow. It's why we strongly support continued nationwide access to in vitro fertilization.
Yeah, but not contraception. And wait, y'all fuckers blocked Tammy Duckworth's bill, Senator Duckworth's bill, to protect IVF. So don't give me that shit. I'll even show the when that was.
We want to help loving moms and dads,
but not if they're two loving moms or two loving dads.
Bring precious life into this world.
Yeah, so they can. Yeah, so Sandy Hook can happen again, or Marjorie Stone High can happen again, because you love your precious little ones, but losing them to gun violence is the price of admission.
Wesley and I believe there is no greater blessing in life than our children. And that's what...
that pronatalist bullshit.
Tonight, I want to make a direct appeal to the parents out there. And in particular...
Yeah, like non-parents don't have a stake in the future of this country.
To my fellow moms, many of whom I know will be up, tossing and turning at 2 a.m., wondering how you're going to be in 3 places at once and then somehow still get dinner on the table.
How about I don't know, maybe you let the guy that skeet in you do some damn housework?
First of all, we see you. We hear you. And we stand with you. I know you're frustrated. I know you're probably disgusted by most of what you see going on in Washington, and I'll be really honest with you. You're not wrong for feeling that way. Look, I get it.
Then fucking govern.
The task in front of us isn't an easy one, but I can promise you one thing. It is worth it. So I am asking you, for the sake of your kids and your grandkids, get into the arena. Every generation has been called to do hard things. American greatness rests in the fact that we...
Have you heard of this brand new product that instantly cleans toilets without any scrubbing? Take any dirty toilet, pour in one...
Always answer that call. It's who we are. Never forget.
Yeah, like when black soldiers came back and they were told that they would be getting GI Bill benefits, and they couldn't when the local board said they could not. America likes to make a whole lot of promises that it doesn't like to keep.
We are steeped in the blood of patriots who overthrew the
Patriots, oh God, white people, white patriots.
Most powerful empire in the world.
With the help of France.
We walk in the footsteps of pioneers who tamed the wild. We now...
With the help of the Homestead Act in 1863.
Carry forward the same flame of freedom as the liberators of an oppressed Europe.
And kicking the Native Americans out of their land and forcing them to trek across to Oklahoma, which was supposed to be a black and Native American settlement. And when they continued westward expansion to continue killing more Native Americans, more indigenous peoples. Yes, that is America. And of course, when they were beating the hell out of slaves. But they didn't die, so, they didn't have to do anything else.
We continue to draw courage from those who bent the moral arc of the universe.
taking MLK's words and working against his legacy the other days.
And when we gaze upon the heavens, never forget that our DNA contains the same ingenuity that put man on the moon.
And also had segregated bathrooms so that the woman that Taraji P. Henson plays, Mary Goebbels, I think was her married name. Katherine Johnson. Yeah, we put man on the moon, but it was black women and black mathematicians who actually did all the work so that this white man could get the credit. And I also hear, at least according to Hidden Figures, if that is true, that he would not trust anybody else's math but hers. Yeah, how we pretty much used people's math and exploited them.
America has been tested before.
And they failed miserably until they absolutely had to make the change. And were forced to, Alabama, 1865.
And every single time, we've emerged unbowed and unbroken.
Yet y'all still pissing on about it 160 some years later.
Our history has been written with the grit of men and women who got knocked down. But we know their stories because they did not stay down. We are here because they stood back up. So now it's our turn, our moment to stand up and prove ourselves worthy of protecting the American dream. Together, we can reawaken the heroic spirit of a great nation. Because America, we don't just have a rendezvous with destiny. We take destiny's hand and we lead it. Our future starts around kitchen tables just like this, with moms and dads just like you. And you are why I believe with every fiber of my being that despite the current state of our union, our best days are still ahead.
Yeah,
May
despite
God
you.
bless you, and may God continue to bless these United States of America.
Oh boy.
Thinking about going solar, but not
That
sure
was a hot
whether
mess.
it's worth it for your home. Well, before you get
Yachts. That was a mess and a half. I don't even know why I do this, but I've been wanting to do that one for a long time. My contacts are bothering me now because it's late. But yachts, that was awful. That was despicable. That was deplorable. Go back to the basket, lady. Why do I do this to myself? Because I've been wanting to, and I've been wanting to vary some stuff. I've been wanting to vary my channel here. Wow, this is crazy. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it to the end, let me know what point that I made that you think I should have made better or that I made well. I need to see the, I kind of want to see one of the parodies. I want to see the SNL parody later. All right, see you soon. Have a great day. Bye.